You can also check out my previous videos on floods and hurricanes. But today we're going to talk about supervolcanoes, the climate-changing force you've never heard of. Supervolcanoes are one of the most powerful forces in the world. They can cause massive destruction and even alter the course of history. Even though you probably haven't heard of them before, they have been around for millions of years and continue to amaze scientists and researchers. But what exactly is a supervolcano? To answer that question, let's take a look at some of the biggest volcanoes in the world. Mount Vesuvius, which erupted in 79 AD and destroyed the Roman city of Pompeii. Krakatoa, which erupted in 1883 and caused a tsunami that killed over 36,000 people. And Mount Helens, which erupted in 1980 and was the deadliest volcanic eruption in U.S. history. These are all examples of major volcanic eruptions. But they're nothing compared to a supervolcano. A supervolcano is a volcano that has the potential to produce an eruption magnitude 8 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, or VEI. The VEI is a scale used to measure the size and severity of volcanic eruptions. An eruption magnitude 8 is considered to be extremely large and can have catastrophic consequences. In fact, there have only been 6 known eruptions of this magnitude in the past 600,000 years, so it's not something that happens very often. So, what makes a volcano a supervolcano? Well, it all has to do with its magma chamber. A magma chamber is the underground reservoir of molten rock that fuels a volcano. When the pressure in the magma chamber becomes greater than the weight of the rock above it, an eruption occurs. The larger the magma chamber, the more potential energy it has and the more explosive the eruption can be. Supervolcanoes have magma chambers that are much larger than other volcanoes. They're capable of holding hundreds of cubic kilometers of magma. When these volcanoes erupt, they release an incredible amount of energy. The sheer force of the explosion can literally blow the top off the volcano, creating a caldera. A caldera is a large, deep depression that forms in the Earth's surface as a result of a volcanic eruption. Some of the most famous calderas in the world include the Yellowstone Caldera in the United States, the Lake Toba caldera in Indonesia, and the Taupo volcanic zone in New Zealand. The most important thing to know about supervolcanoes is that their eruptions are incredibly destructive. The force of the explosion can level entire forests, destroy buildings, and bury entire cities in ash. But that's not all. Supervolcanic eruptions can also have far-reaching effects on the environment and climate. When a supervolcano erupts, it releases huge amounts of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide is a gas that can form clouds of sulfuric acid. These clouds reflect sunlight back into space and can cause global temperatures to plummet. This effect can last for years, causing a so-called volcanic winter. Supervolcano eruptions can also cause regional and global droughts by blocking the flow of ocean currents that bring moisture to land. In addition, supervolcano eruptions can also trigger earthquakes and tsunamis, causing even more damage and destruction. Yellowstone National Park in the United States is home to the Yellowstone Caldera, which is one of the largest supervolcanoes in the world. The park is located in the northwest corner of Wyoming and covers an area of more than 2.2 million acres. Yellowstone is a major tourist destination with visitors coming from all over the world to see its geysers, hot springs, and wildlife. But few people realize that the park is also home to a supervolcano. The Yellowstone Caldera is the site of 3 major eruptions in the past 640,000 years. The most recent eruption occurred about 640,000 years ago and was one of the largest in history. It is estimated that about 2,500 cubic kilometers of material was ejected during the eruption, which is equivalent to about 1 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. Fortunately, the area was uninhabited at the time, so no human lives were lost. However, the eruption had far-reaching effects on the environment. The ash and gases released into the atmosphere caused global temperatures to plummet, and there was a mass extinction of plants and animals. The next eruption of Yellowstone supervolcano will likely be much smaller than the previous ones. According to geologists, it could be similar to the 1980 eruption of Mount Helens in Washington state, which was one of the deadliest volcanic eruptions in U.S. history. If such an eruption were to occur today, it would undoubtedly have a devastating impact on the surrounding area. The small town of Gardner, Montana, which is located just 8 miles from the park, would likely be destroyed. The entire state of Montana would be covered in ash, and the rest of the country would experience a volcanic winter. Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines is another famous supervolcano. It is located on the island of Luzon and is one of the most active volcanoes in the country. On June 15, 1991, Mount Pinatubo erupted in one of the most violent eruptions of the 20th century. The eruption caught scientists by surprise, as it was the first major eruption of the volcano in more than 100 years. An estimated 800 people lost their lives due to the eruption, and billions of dollars worth of property was destroyed. The eruption column reached 35 kilometers into the sky and ejected 2.4 billion cubic meters of ash and pumice. Ash fell as far away as 160 kilometers from the volcano, and mudflows traveled down the slopes, destroying everything in their path. The eruption also had a significant impact on the climate. Mount Pinatubo is now considered to be one of the most dangerous supervolcanoes in the world. It is closely monitored by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, and the people living in the surrounding areas are well aware of the dangers that the volcano poses. Lake Toba in Indonesia is the site of the youngest supervolcanic eruption in the world. It occurred about 74,000 years ago and is thought to be the largest eruption in the past 26 million years. The eruption had a profound impact on the development of our species, with some experts believing that it may have even triggered the last glacial maximum. The eruption was so powerful that it created a lake. The depth of the lake is almost exactly equal to the volume of the eruption. The total volume of material erupted is estimated to be between 2,300 and 2,800 cubic kilometers. This is equivalent to between 560 and 700,000 cubic miles. For comparison, the total volume of the 1980 Mount Helens eruption was only about 1.6 cubic kilometers, or 0.4 cubic miles. The force of the eruption is equivalent to between 2,800 and 4,000 nuclear bombs dropped over Hiroshima. Toba's eruption was so large that it is believed to have caused a significant reduction in genetic diversity in modern humans. This is because the eruption threw so much dust into the air that it blocked out the sun and caused temperatures to plummet. This lasted for several years, leading to a so-called volcanic winter. During this time, it is believed that only a small number of humans survived, and this led to a significant reduction in genetic diversity. So those are some of the most amazing and dangerous supervolcanoes in the world. While these volcanoes are truly awe-inspiring, they also pose a serious threat to the people who live nearby. It's important to learn about these volcanoes and the risks they pose so that we can better prepare for future eruptions. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more great videos.